All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Hawakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, your brother Karatazar back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I'm talking about thermonuclear missiles. All right, missile talk, okay? And thermonuclear missiles are coming to destroy Babylon, okay? The Lord's indignation is wholly against Babylon, all right, and against the wicked and the 2/3 of our people, which coincide with the wicked, okay, and they're either gonna die by famine or the sword or some pestilence, okay. But this is starting off with the scriptures. This is Isaiah 13:5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. The whole land is Babylon, okay? And they come from a far country, meaning they're gonna come from Russia, all right, China, North Korea, all right, Iran, okay, all these nations that are against Babylon, all right. They're gonna come against her, all right, and they're gonna shoot their nuclear missiles off at Babylon, okay. So I'm gonna read some of this article, and we're gonna go into some of the terms, okay. It says nuclear weapons terms you should know, all right. These are things that you should know as a a person living in Babylon, because you need to know what you're going to be faced with. All right, and the elect needs to know what they're going to escape by the mercies of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, so you're going to read a few paragraphs here, and then I got another article that says this is what a nuclear war would do to the world. All right. And we're gonna read some stuff in there. There's gonna be terms and things that we need to go that I'm gonna go into through the Spirit of the Lord. All right. So it says the United States is the only nation to have used atomic weapons in war. That the world entered a new deadly age in August of 1945 when U.S. planes dropped atomic bombs on Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, the attack led to the end of a terrible conflict, but the stage was set for a potentially more horrific one, the Cold War, pitting the U.S. and its allies against the Soviet Union and its bloc of nations. Once the Soviet Union achieved the capability to build nuclear wars, a terrifying arms race commenced. Okay, so now if you fast forward from the Cold War up until now, all these nations have built up their nuclear arsenal. Okay, you got Russia saying that they could destroy, I believe, the whole East Coast with for their thermonuclear missiles. Okay, um, and you got China building up theirs, and North Korea always showing theirs off. Okay, um, just sitting here thinking, just seeing what I'm going to read, if I'm going to read anything else in here, but I'm not. So I'm gonna start with this. This says nuclear powers. There are countries with the capability of producing and using nuclear weapons. Since the US and Russia conducted their first nuclear test in 1948, other countries have joined the nuclear club, including South Africa, which subsequently dismantled its nuclear arsenal, the only country to have done so. So if you fast forward to today, all right, let's just Google how many countries have nuclear power. All right, it says nuclear weapons analysts estimate that the world's 9 nuclear states, China, France, India, Israel, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, have around 13,000 nuclear warheads in total, according to the ACA. All right. There's these smaller nations that's being backed by like Russia and China that probably have some in the mix. Okay, but this is what is supposedly known that's on hand by these nine nations. Okay, but nobody showed their hand, and especially in regards to war. Okay, but just those nine countries were just listed in the Google and just in a quick Google search. Okay, all right, we're going on tactical nuclear weapons. All right, these are nuclear weapons that are smaller than full guns, also known as non-strategic nuclear weapons of NSNW, non-strategic nuclear weapons that are meant to be used in a battlefield situation, delivered by various means, including short-range missiles, gravity bombs, artillery, and torpedoes. Such weapons are not limited by arms control. Okay. Um, airplanes, okay, and torpedoes, just like that, okay. So the Lord's gonna have these that shoot off their weapons means you know, want to say from all type of vehicle means, okay. It says first strike strategy. As nuclear weapons become more powerful, on how to use them evolved. A first strike, also called a preemptive nuclear strike, is an all-out attack on opponent's nuclear arsenal that prevents an enemy from responding with his own attack. All right, so shoot first. That's what these nations are gonna be doing. Somebody's gonna shoot first. All right. And then we know the outcomes of destruction of Babylon. All right, but look at some of these pictures. These the arrows. Here's the warhead that houses the nuclear materials. All right, fission or fusion. That's gonna detonate and hit Babylon. Okay, I'm stressing Babylon because I mean America. All right, and destroy it. All right. It says mutually assured destruction. Once the Soviet Union reached nuclear uh, parity with the U.S., the nuclear strategy shifted to what be- to what became known as mutually assured destruction. In this scenario, both sides maintained nuclear arsenals so massive that either could survive a nuclear attack and still launch a powerful counterstrike. All right. This is also called balance of terror, in which neither side was likely to start, which it was likely to risk starting a nuclear conflict. All right. So they could shoot off at each other and they'll still have enough to um, go ahead and finish the other one off. All right. Cruise missile. A cruise missile is a guided missile launched from the sea or land intended to deliver a large warhead over long distance with high accuracy. Self-navigating cruise missiles, based on the German V-1 terror weapon of World War II, can travel at supersonic or high subsonic speeds and can fly at very low altitude can fly very can fly at very low altitude trajectory. The warhead in a cruise missile is integrated into the vehicle, which is destroyed in the mission. All right, so when the nuclear goes off, that cruise missile that's holding that vehicle is going to be destroyed. All right, let's look at hypersonic speed and subsonic speeds. All right, let's see what the speeds are. All right, for aircraft speeds, which are very much less than the speed of sound, the aircraft is to be subsonic. Typical speeds for subsonic aircraft are less than 250 miles, and the Mach number M is much less than 1 m. All right, so velocity, I guess that would be, all right, and it's 250 miles. All right, less than the speed of sound in air. All right. What else did it say? Supersonic. Supersonic speed is a speed of an object that exceeds the speed of sound, Mach 1, for objects traveling in dry air of temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, how fast is supersonic speed? 768 miles per hour. All right, subsonic speed is about 250 miles per hour. That's fast as hell either way. All right, ballistic missiles. A ballistic missile Shalom, bro. How about you, Mel Shabrakata? A ballistic missile is a missile that has a ballistic trajectory of over of Salaki of most of its flight path after being launched in high into the Earth's atmosphere. The warhead from a ballistic missile detaches as the vehicle falls to the Earth. The missile it can be short range, air launched, or intermediate range. Depends on gravity to reach its target. These missiles can be launched from ships or land based facilities. All right. The Lord has the spirit on these people to have missiles coming from out of the water. All right, you see that? And I guarantee you that's from like a submarine. All right. It says ICBM. ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles. All right, ICBMs can be mobile or based in silos. Land-based nuclear armed ballistic missiles have a range of more than 3,500 miles. All right, let's see. Let's see how many miles is it from China to America. Yep. So a little. It's over 7,000 miles. Okay. Let's see how many miles is it from North Korea to China, to America. All right, the travel distance from is equal to 6,422 miles. All right. See from Russia, 5,000. So Russia is closer to America than China and North Korea based on just me what I just googled. Okay, but remember when we read in the book of Joel, let me get some scriptures. The spirit of the Lord is going to be in these missiles, man. Okay, spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is going to be in these missiles. So this is Joel chapter 2, uh, in verse 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the walls. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Okay, so they're going to run like mighty men. These missiles, okay, they're going to it. They're going to their intended target. Okay, no matter how far that intended target may be. Let it be 7,000 miles. Okay, let it be 2 miles. Okay, they're going to hit that target, man, and that their main target through the Spirit of the Lord is Babylon, okay, America. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one on his path, on one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses, up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right. And Yahweh shall utter his Salaki, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. All right, so the Lord's word is to destroy Babylon because that's what his army is going to do. All right. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible. Who can abide it? All right, nobody, man. All right, nobody could, because if we go back and read verse 6, it says, before their faces the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. All right, people gonna be weak and faint in those days, man. Okay, but going back to the article, it says ICBM, they were first deployed by the Soviet Union in 1958, contributed to the belief in a so-called missile gap by the United States and the USSR as prom promulgated, Salakia, I don't even know that word, by Hawks in the United States. The main U.S. ICBM missile is the silo launched Minuteman missile. All right, and I had a book. I believe it's gotten packed up, but it was speaking about the weapons of World War III. All right, but if you're looking in the news, all right, you're paying attention. All right, you see all this media in regards to nuclear this and nuclear capability that. That's because the Lord is putting the spirit out there for those that have eyes to see that this is what's going to come to pass here shortly. All right. And this is the time to get right. All right. So then to get right is to repent and turn back into Yahweh Shema Shai. But nonetheless, it says number 8, submarine launched missiles. Submarine launched ballistic missiles that have ranges comparable to those of ICBMs include the Trident deployed by the United States and Great Britain. Similar systems have been deployed by Russia, China, France, the United States. Columbia class subs are example of those capable of launching a ballistic missile. All right. So submarine based missiles, and I bet you this was submarine based missile right here. All right. Air to surface missiles. An air to surface missile or air to ground missile is designed to be launched from a military aircraft such as bombers, air attack aircraft, or fighter aircraft, among others, and strike targets on land, at sea, or both. All right, and then you got bombers. Long range bombers have been an essential element in the arsenals of air forces equipped with nuclear bombs. The B-21 strategic bomber is an important part of the United States defense. Dual capable aircraft. Let's see. All right. The F-35A fighter is an example of dual capable aircraft able to deliver both conventional and nuclear weapons. All right. Hey, the Lord got these Edomites decked out in regards to destroying themselves, man. Okay. Let me see. All right, this is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. All right. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has put the spirit on these Edomites to destroy themselves by their nuclear capabilities. Okay. All right. Triad since at least 1970s, the 1970s, U.S. nuclear strategy has been connected to the so-called triad, the combined capability of launching weapons from air, land, and sea, including from submarines. Russia and China eventually adopted the same strategy. All right, so these are just some nuclear terms that you should know. All right, the Lord's going to have bombs dropped on this place from submarines, from air to land missiles, from these ICBMs coming out of silos, ballistic missiles coming off of out of vehicles. Okay, cruise missiles coming out of ships like you see like this. All right. And then mutually assured destruction goes into, hey, if you bomb me, I'm going to bomb you back. And I'm going to bomb you back because I still have the ability to survive what your first strike strategy. All these things are terms that you should know because these terms are going to destroy Babylon, man. Okay, not the terms physically, all right, but the things that the terms contain within themselves. Okay. Um. All right, going to a few of these because these are pretty long. All right, but I'm going to read this paragraph right here. It says, this is what a nuclear war would do to the world. All right, and we want this nuclear war to come to pass because this is going to be what cleans up this filthy, abominable place. All right, this is the paragraph I'm going to read. It says a nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan could mean as many as 125 million fatalities. Nuclear triggered fires would provoke smoke that would eventually climb into the stratosphere, where it would spread globally within weeks. There would be a dramatic decline in surface sunlight, global temperatures will fall, and precipitation would drop. All right, does not the scripture say the day of the Lord is darkness and no light in it? Let me see. All right, let me see. All right, this is Malachi. Nope, let me get. Let me see. Give me a second. I'm trying to remember what that scripture is. All right, Zephaniah. Oh, correct. Oh, all right, it is the whole book. Okay, Salakia. So this is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of Yahweh is near. All right, let's just look up the word near. Like there's a bottle in front of me that is close to me. It's close at hand. That means I can reach it, grab it with my hand. That means it's near. Okay. All right, near. It says at or distance away nearby, a short time away in the future. All right, how the day. That's how close the day of the Lord is, man. All right, a short time away in the future. All right, it is near and hasteth greatly. Because why is it hastening? Because the the hopeful elector out there preaching and prophesying, crying unto Yahweh Shem Shai to bring about salvation and destruction of Babylon. But nonetheless, even the day of even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry bitterly. All right, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess. All right, a day of clouds and thick darkness. All right, going back to what I was reading here. All right, it says the smoke would eventually climb into the stratosphere where it would spread globally within weeks. All right, there would be a dramatic decline in surface sunlight. All right, that means sunlight coming. That means light coming from the sun to shine upon the earth. All right, global temperatures will fall, and precipitation would drop. There will be famine, which is being manufactured right now by Esau. Okay, and mass starvation and possibly other disasters. Would recovery would take more than 10 years. All right. An all out war, what experts have called unthinkable, probably means the end of our world. No, the end of Esau's world. Okay. And we are cheering and hoping and praying to Yahweh Shem Shai that comes. Okay. Because we know, as you have read in the book of Daniel, all right, the 10 toes, all right, the end of Esau's world, and the beginning of uh, the kingdom of heaven, man. All right. So the 10 toes represent the last kingdom before Yahweh Shai comes and destroys it, which is this Babylonian kingdom, man. All right. Cities would be targeted with multiple weapons, and lethal fallout would cover much of the United States. More than half of the United States population will be killed initially, and the survivors will be exposed to exposed to radiation high enough to cause lower disease resistance and greater incidence of fatal cancer. All right, and all those things is part of the destruction of. Okay, but here we go. Just gonna go over some of them and just glance at the pictures. Okay, a burst of radiation. All right, this is the outlet to what happens when the nuclear bomb hits. Okay, the smoke cloud. Okay, all right, bam, another smoke cloud, a fireball. It said after detonation, a fireball of superheated air forms and grows rapidly. Later, a megaton blast, a 1 megaton blast that the fireball is 1 mile in diameter. The early stages of 1 megaton fireball are many times brighter than the sun. Bam, to the burns. All right, what's the saying from the 12th chapter? Let's go. Let's see. Let me see Zechariah Salakia. All right, this is Zechariah 14 and 12, Salakia. All right, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. That means even their own people, 2/3 of our people have fought against us. Okay. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's severe burning, man. Okay. severe burns. All right. All right. It says the intense heat can ignite fires and cause severe burns on exposed flesh as far as 20 miles away from a large explosion. All right. Blast waves, air bursts. Look at this. And then a dang aircraft would fit in that, damaged structure or that ground piece. Okay. Ground bursts. These are all terms you should know. Radius of destruction. All right, let's read this. The radius and volume of destruction depend on the the explosion yield. But volume is proportional to the rate. The volume increases approximately by the cube root of the yield. So the relative increase in destructive effect compared to the increase in yield is small. The effects of nuclear weapons on populations are also subject to many environmental and variables. All right, firestorm. You got radioactive fallout. Look at these pictures, man. This is what desolation and destruction looks like, man. Okay, you can't picture it in your mind. Here goes a picture of it for you. All right, light damage zone. Broken windows are more easily managed. Injuries occur in zones further away from the initial blast zone. All right. So the blast, New York City, a light damage area. Let's say the damage area from the impact of the missile is out of goes is 500 miles. Okay, just outside of that 500-mile radius, right? 501, maybe 510 miles, may receive light damage, maybe a light damage zone. All right, moderate damage zone. And the moderate damage zone, the significant building damage, rubble, down utility lines and poles, overturned automobiles, fires, and serious injuries. All right, and these are things that you're going to see. All right. It says severe damage zones. It says the most catastrophic of damage scenarios. Buildings collapse, radiation levels are high, and survivors are likely. Devastation and destruction is going to be in America, man. Okay. It says electromagnetic pulse. Noted at very high altitude may not produce the previously mentioned destruction, but it produces intense gamma rays that knock out electrons that knock electrons out of atoms. All right. When the burst occurs at high altitude, this effect reaches hundreds of miles. As they gyrate in the Earth's atmosphere, in the Earth's magnetic field, the electrons generate an extreme pulse of radio waves. This is known as an electromagnetic pulse. A single large weapon detonated 200 miles over the central United States could blink the entire country with an electromagnetic damage computer, communication systems, and other electronics. So this is very important. And shock detonated over 200 miles above the United States. Okay, could black out the whole country. All right, could black out the whole limited nuclear. All right, that turn all out. All right, and that's what you're gonna see here, man. Especially aim towards Babylon. All right, all out will continue and nuclear winter. All right, ozone gas and oxygen absorb the sun's ultraviolet radiation. A nuclear war will produce massive amounts of ozone-consuming chemicals. Studies suggest that even a modest nuclear exchange will result in unprecedented increase in the ultraviolet exposure. All right, this would disrupt the process of photosynthesis. Marine life might be damaged. by the increased ultraviolet radiation, and humans could receive blistering sunburns. All right, and you're not surviving this, man. You're not surviving this because these missiles gonna have the anger of the Lord in them, man. All right, but there's no surviving this. This was just a little short lesson on missiles, man, because the Lord is sending them over here. All right, I'm gonna get this in Jeremiah, then I'm gonna close out. I hate this autocorrect, man. This is Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. All right, the sound of battle is coming from the warrior. How about Shimon Shai putting the spirit on the prophets to go out there and let the people know, hey, the battle is coming. All right, but there's going to be battle, an actual battle in the land. All right, but it's going to be from missiles going off, and then there's going to be, race wars going on here. People trying to survive, Jacob's trouble, all that's going to be happening, right? It says, "How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" All right, through the anger of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, it says, "I, which is Yahweh, okay, have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken." And the biggest snare, all right, that can fall upon anybody, all right, which is an abomination unto the Lord, which is pride, man. And Esau Edom, all right, is the most prideful individual, man. All right, and everything that America is about is it represents pride in a negative light. Okay. O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and are also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. All right, what's the ways that Esau Edom has striven against the Lord? Pride is one of them. Look what he's done to the Lord's people. An example of what he's done to the Lord's people. Make sure y'all can see this. All right, this right here. All right, this book called Without a Sanctuary shows exactly, the violence of America towards the Lord's people. All right, stuff like this. All right, and then of course, with all the philosophies soon, Daddy Alex. Of all the philosophies that he pushed throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, what they call democracy. All right, causing the world to go against the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, verse 25, it says, Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldees. Chaldees, all right, and the work of Yahweh Shema Shai in the land of the Chaldees is to destroy Babylon with fire, man. Just let's read 26. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Okay, and just like we was reading yesterday at camp, Deuteronomy, I think it was 13, because this is an idolatrous city. Okay, it's going to be burnt. Okay, it's going to be burnt. All right. All right, this is Deuteronomy 13 and 15. Thou shalt smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And thou shalt gather all the spoils of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn it, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof with of every wit, for Yahweh thy power and it shall be a heap forever, and it should not be built again. All right, that's what's going to happen in Babylon. Okay, all right, but the Lord's going to do it. That's going to be the work of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, and then it goes into slaying the cattle. All right, like you were saying, like you said in Deuteronomy 13th chapter, man. Okay, but just in terms of going to as far as what you should know in regards to thermonuclear missiles and the capabilities of them. All right, I'm gonna post this clip in the in the in the comment section if anybody gets part of the lesson and sees it. And I'm gonna do the other one. All right, but Lord will y'all is edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Shem Hawakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruler, and Teachwell. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect, Kwame Yasharali, Mawaf, Alubah, Shalom.